Welcome back, y'all. It's your boy Wendy, and we're coming back to y'all after this all-star break that just happened, where we saw Jason Tatum go crazy, Damian Lillard hit a lot of threes. Just a really fun game to watch. And we're not really going to recap anything. We're just going to put out there our picks have done really well so far since we've started. Right now we're at 59-13, I believe, putting us around 80% hit rate. I mean, we're trying to go perfect for y'all one of these days. We know it's coming. Not sure if it's tonight. We're getting a little bit riskier, but without further ado, let's get to our picks for February 23rd, 2023. We're starting out in Indiana, where these Pacers are taking on the red-hot Celtics that have just been playing out of this world. They're looking like, halfway through the season, three-quarters through the season, however you want to call it. They are very much looking like a championship team. On this game, we had Bando going with Miles Turner for 6 rebounds. He's hit this in 7 out of his last 10. He isn't the best rebounder in the league by any standard, but he is averaging 8 a game. He hit this in their last game that they played. He does play a lot of away from the rim just due to his shooting, and he's got a little bit of playmaking to him. But he does play very close on defense because he looks for a lot of blocks. So we'll be looking for him to pick that up. And then second off, for myself, I went with Jason Tatum for 25 points. He has been playing like crazy recently. He's hit this in 11 out of his last 14 games, as well as dropping 55 in the All-Star game, and then dropped 41 against the Pacers in their last meetup, where he took almost all of the load on offense, it seemed like. We're not going to look for him to just do that again, but we are kind of looking for him to get around that 25-point range like he has been. Next up, we'll see the Magic and the Pistons matching up, and not much, really anything people are going to be looking for in this game. And as a team, we could really only come up with one, and we went with Wendell Carter for 8+ boards. He's been averaging 9.5 a night so far. And then in their last 2 matchups, he has had 11 and 8. So going by his standards as of recent, now that he's starting a lot more, because we're seeing a lot more production for him, seeing the Wendell Carter that they really thought they were going to see in Chicago. So going with that for a little easier one. And then so in this Cavs matchup against the Nuggets, we're going to see Bando meet riding Evan Mobley again for 6 rebounds. Now, we've harped on this all season. I believe he's only missed this line 4 times, and the odds are very much against him not getting it, of course. It's a negative 600 line, so it's something a little smaller. You might want to just add it on to the tail end of a parlay. And then you have myself going with MPJ for 15+ at a negative 160 line. He had 16 in their last matchup, and he's averaging 17 this year. We're seeing him on an upward trend right now of 19 points per game, and that's a lot due to them needing a little more scoring production with a couple players not really performing the way we're used to for the Nuggets. And when you pass MPJ the ball, it's kind of like passing an AI the ball in 2K, where you're probably not going to get it back, or that 160 overall. It's just not happening. He's been shooting extremely well, so there's no reason for him to stop playing this way. Next up on our list, we'll be moving on to the Raptors and Pelicans game. This is another one where we didn't really find much that we liked. One thing though was Scotty Barnes for 6+ rebounds. He's been averaging 7, which, when you see 6, it's going to be a decent line, but also you have that risk going on. He's averaging 7.5 this year, but in the last 10, he's been hitting this line consistently, and then 11 out of his last 12. So we're checking him out for that negative. Going on to one of our bigger games of the night, we're going to be looking at the 76ers taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. And Bando has decided to risk his good record, and he is going for Embiid for 35+ points. This is going to be a very good line money-wise. It's risk, but Embiid's hit this in 5 out of his last 10, and with the amount of shots he tends to put up, if he puts up an efficient 50% night, more times than not, he is going to hit this line. And then for myself, I took the All-Star Jaren Jackson Jr. for 6 rebounds. This is a decent line for him. He's hit this in 8 out of his last 10 games. And then for the last couple months, he's been above average. Away, he's averaging 6.5, 6.4. But the last 2 months, I think he averaged like 7.5 and then 7 or like a high 6. So we'll be looking for him to just get near his average, not asking for much. Next up, we'll be seeing the Jazz and the Thunder game. After the All-Star break, a lot of lines have changed. We're not really going to be able to go with Clarkson, one of our favorites, for 15 points anymore, since his line is exponentially shot up. So we're going with an unlikely direction on this round. We're going for Lou Dort for 10 points. I mean, it's fairly decent. He's only missed this line 3 times since the beginning of January. He normally gets 11 to 14 points, somewhere in there. We've seen some 22-point games, 23-point games here and there, a couple 18s. Just a solid role player that they got there in him, and we're just looking for him to have another solid role player. We'll be looking at the Mavs game. Didn't see much on the Spurs side, but Mavs, you know, we like Kyrie Irving here. Big fourth quarter player. I think he's averaging the most points in the fourth quarter this season. But we were looking for him to go for 20 points, 4 assists. He's hit this in every game. I think his low for points is 24, as high as like 36. And then assists, I don't think he's been below 5 yet. He's had some pretty good games. He's averaging 25, 26, and 7 right now as a Maverick. For the night, we are going with the Lakers playing the Warriors. Bando taking LeBron and myself taking Anthony Davis. He's got him for 6 rebounds, and then I got Anthony Davis for 12. LeBron's hit this line in 19 out of his last 20, looking like almost a guaranteed lock. And then Davis has been just going crazy on the boards. I think he had 16 in their last game a couple weeks ago. He's averaging 14 through this month. He's been really hard to stop, and especially going up a team that rebounds well, but they rebound more as a team. When it's centralized, it's a lot harder to stop, especially with someone who's taller than their center. So, gotta go with, you know, the beast in the post so far, since he's been back off his injury. And taking for that game as well, Bando will be going for Kelly Olynyk for 4 boards. I mean, as Bando had said, just a quick disclaimer, Bando is African American, and he said it's white boy summer, so we're going with Kelly Olynyk. He's been averaging 5 through this season, and he's hit this in 8 out of his last 10, so another 4 rebound game from him would be real nice. After that, we'll be moving over to the Kings and Blazers game. We've seen, you know, Damian Lillard dragging the team things where, you know, he has to do everything for this team to survive, and we're looking for him to do that again. We're putting him up for 30 points and 4 threes made. He's averaging 11 threes a game on about 37 or 38% shooting, putting him at about 4.5 threes made, and then he's averaging 31 this season. He's jumped up a decent amount, maybe 2 or 3 points per game through recent games where he's been averaging a lot more. And we're just looking for him to drag them, do everything it takes to beat the Kings. So that wraps up our picks for tonight. Make sure to check out our TikTok. Bando will be putting it somewhere. We'll be putting up our ladder challenge. We're doing a lot bigger this time around. He said, I think, broke money don't make no money or something like that. So we'll be going for $40 to $40K. We don't know why. We just put it out there, a dub for a dub between the two of us. And just make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so we can keep pushing out just great videos trying to win you all some money. And then happy parlaying, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
We just playing with them on this one, yeah.